Hello, everybody. This is Rich and Stacy. Right now
We are
we
laying in bed.
we're awkwardly
How much more intimate can we get with you guys?
we're
You're in
awkwardly
our bed
trying
with us.
to do a video, and this. Let's see where we're.
Oh, you didn't have to show them the whole room.
Well, I just want them to see. So
Oh,
we're
that's
at
so
camp. We're at camp. This is we just finished week 1, and we have actually 2 more weeks to go. Really, really exciting. I know we've told you guys we're going to be doing this, but I wanted to just kind of share with what we're doing with the kids these next couple weeks, and then we're going to
Oops.
tell you what we're doing after that. So this first camp that we're doing was this last week and then one more week, and this is really a leadership camp. And it's really cool because I feel like I've never seen anything like what we're trying to do. And I've seen camps before that are like really fun sports camps, and I've seen camps that the ones that we've done before that we like to do too, which is like where we set the kids up to encounter God in a special way, where God calls their name and they really get impacted with the Lord. But this camp is a really small one. It's got 8 kids in it, 8 teenagers. And what we're doing is we have talked to them about their giftings and what they believe God has placed inside them to actually do in ministry. And so, like, I mean, it could be anything, but what we found is that we have about 4 kids that either want to be worship leaders or singers. We have one that wants to be a drummer, two that are kind of interested in teaching, and one that feel very called to the prophetic, like ones that like about righteousness and how to walk through all that. So what we're doing is several times a week. 3 times a week, we've set up curriculum that's individualized in order to help them walk that out and to learn about it. So they're having one-on-one training, and then we're also doing leadership development for what it's like to be a Christian leader. And I've never really seen that before for young people. Most of the time, how leadership works in the church is there's a vacancy and I need a volunteer, and then I'm going to put them in there and I'm going to say, okay, you can do whatever you want. Do your thing, and then we just walk away and leave them there, and we don't really develop people. And so Rich and I feel really called to equip people. And so we're guys kind of doing this camp that is a very unique camp. And we're staying in a really cool place that we found. So it'll be 2 weeks of that last week, and then this week coming up. And then also those kids, we're training them in order to be leaders for the Florida Teen Intensive, which will be the following week. And that'll have about 35 kids, and we'll do one of our typical camps where we kind of just give them tools to dig in the Bible, to have more quality
Practicums,
time.
practicums, hearing God, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like breakout sessions, and then nightly worship and teaching. So these kids will be like the group, like the assistant group leaders to those kids, to that camp. So it's really, really cool. I mean,
Hmm.
it's been really kind of low key in the sense of um, we haven't like had church every night, but we've been being very intentional about helping them all learn about their gifting, practice their gifting, and then really talk about leadership development because they're our next leaders, and we want to try to give them the best advice we can from our age
Yeah.
and experience to help them be better leaders.
Yeah, a lot of them have been just so touched spiritually already and challenged to go deeper. It's great. I mean, the conversations we have, you can tell that they're just so hungry for the move of God in their lives. And during worship, one of the young guys just started crying, and he's one of the leaders, and he really has a lot of potential, but he was just crying like a baby. And when you see that stuff in these young people's lives, you know that God's getting ready to do something with all of them. So it's good. It's been one more step of breaking people out of the paradigm of what camp is, because the leadership, the Acts team now was just FTI last year, and it was hard for them that year to break out of what camp was. And now it's even more or less camp, more intensive, but they're going right along with it. They're loving it, and great worship, great discussions, great prayer times, and teachings. I mean, gosh, it's just it's they're all one of the few things that encourages, I think, both of our hearts to see that there is a way that God's going to redeem the world. It's pretty messed up right now, but when you see these young people and just how God is pulling on their hearts, man, it's like, man, there is hope.
And I feel like all it really takes is a generation to lean back and reach back to them,
Lean
and
back.
be, it's like, I know we've all prayed, probably all of us that are listening to this right now have prayed for spiritual mothers and fathers to arise, and it just feels like we're doing what we know how to do, and we're trying to be that. We've not seen it modeled, and so we're trying to be that to these guys, and it's really cool. They're sponges. They want to learn. They want to be challenged. They want an opportunity to try to lead, and then we're standing right here with them. So if they make a mistake, then we can help them monitor and walk through that. So it's
Right.
really really a cool thing. But I
Well,
know we have some other news we wanted to
we only
share.
have 4 minutes left to share the news,
It's
so all of you
actually
have been
15
waiting for it.
minutes.
Oh, it's 15 minutes
Yeah, but we
long?
don't need to take the whole 15
Oh,
minutes. I'm
well, we
sure they don't
won't
want to.
try, but I thought we were limited to 10, so,
No.
okay. We have felt led by the Lord to come back to St. Louis. We were going to come down and be in town at the end of August, but that's been moved up because the Lord is just doing it that way. We will be in town on the last week of July. It's very, very intense because we have all of these camps, and then we have a hell big family reunion for a week. So as soon as we get back, we're going to be
2 weeks.
extremely busy.
We have 2 weeks to pack after that. To
Two. 1, 2.
Our,
To
our
pack,
house.
to sell, to close stuff down. It's going to be very intense, but we're coming back with a lot of excitement. We have London and Josh are going to come back with us. Probably not that week, but they might be down a week or two or a month later when they close up shop. They have a couple more things they have to close up. Aiden will be with us. We feel like the Lord is leading us there. We don't quite know what yet, but there are a couple of coals on the fire. So we'll see how the Lord opens the door, but we're super excited. One thing that I do hope that the Lord will allow us to do is to continue to have the teen intensives. We're going to do Missouri teen intensives instead of Florida, obviously, because we're not in Florida.
It'll be a weird name.
Yeah, we're going to have Acts stuff. We really hope that God will give us favor amongst the.
I think it's still going. We just have to get it back. So we just.
Oh,
Where's
just
it
click
at?
It's right there.
This
No,
one.
it's.
You guys are all looking at us, and we're not.
I know. Look goofy.
There we go.
We
Sorry.
got a call on our phone, and for some reason it clicks it into Apple, so it shuts off everything, so the whole screen just disappeared. But we're really feeling a passion, a passion, a call of God to really implement fivefold ministry teachings in churches, in anyone who will hear us and listen to us. There could be a possible opportunity for us to work with Foursquare District to be part of the team that would go from church to church and instruct people on this. There's also a couple other opportunities, but we really want to be called to work with teens and young people, but we need also the older generation, the seasoned ones, to help us disciple and raise up the new young leaders that God wants to do and wants to have in this next move in the generations. So it's very, very exciting. We can't go into too much detail over video, but when we speak with you guys individually, when we get to town or in a group or party or hang out, whatever we're going to do, I think by then we'll have a little more detail and we'll be able to go into it. But it's super exciting, and I don't look excited right now because I'm extremely tired.
We're tired.
But we're very excited. We've told some young people around here whose hearts are just melting with ours, and they want to come and do that ministry with us as well.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing a couple interesting. We're seeing some connections, and that's why we're thinking it is going to have something to do, in some way, with young people, because we're talking to young people, and some of them are literally saying that they want to come to St. Louis and be with us. They have a couple of things they're doing, but they're like, when I get done with that, I want to come. And so
there's a team around us, and there's some people in St. Louis that are wanting to become part of this, whatever this ministry team thing would look like as well, and they're very gifted in teaching and worship, and
Yeah, so we're not exactly sure. We have some ideas, like we said, but we have been talking, like Rich was saying, just a little bit more of that is, we just happen to be in a connection, in a weird situation where we got connected with this lady that's over the leadership development of this Foursquare denomination in the Midwest District, and They are looking to build teams of people that would go in and do fivefold trainings into churches. So we're really interested in that. And we just, it's like, it's not like there's one particular thing that we know, like God's calling us back to St. Louis for this exact, like, to go to the house of prayer or to go to the church. We know he's calling us back to St. Louis, and we know it'll have something to do with that because that's where our heart is. Our heart is missional lifestyle where we're constantly following the Lord and what he's doing on the earth. And will that be within a church body? Probably, because that's how God works. Will it be in context of a mission base? Probably in some way, because they're the ones that are open to that kind of stuff. So we just need to, but what we know for sure is that we're being called back to St. Louis. And so we're going to get there. We're going to immediately have to try to figure out financing.
Yeah.
We're hoping that all of our partners would continue to partner with us until the beginning of the year so that we can figure out what we're going to be doing. We could get there and God may say, hey, take a year off and just work in the marketplace.
Right.
And I'll open up doors after that. Or he might say, work a couple weeks and then immediately this door is going to open and these finances are going to come available. So it's hard for us to tell you exactly what's going on, except we know that God is moving and calling us, and we are stirred. We are very, very stirred in our heart about the move and know it's God. And almost like it's so exciting we can't even put our finger on what it is that we're exactly going to do, but we know that it's going to be something very specific.
Right.
And I think the Lord's going to open those doors as we get there.
And it's going to be the next step for the ministry. You guys are our partners and you're part of the ministry. And so you guys have a right to know. And as soon as we can get something definite, we will let you guys know. And I tell you, I will be surprised if, because you guys have partnered with us for so long and you know our hearts and our vision, I will be surprised if you guys don't want to go to this next level with us in this ministry as well. I mean, it's just going to be a multiplication of what we've done here and what we've done in St. Louis as far as touching young people and touching people in general, training and raising up and discipling. It could be a really cool thing. So we love you guys.
Yeah, we love you. And some of you in Orlando will be saying goodbye from seeing each other every Sunday. And for those in St. Louis, it'll be a hello. So it's always like this in ministry. You never know where you're going, who you're saying goodbye to, and who you get to say hello to. But we
friends
still
are
feel
friends forever.
And I'm gonna have Richie sing that for you now.
If the Lord's the Lord of them.
Thank you.
And a friend will not say never.
Goodbye.